championship year. Whoever earns the 6th seed is mostly likely to meet the 3rd seed. That would be the Sacramento Kings.
There's zero excuse for letting our guard down tonight. It's pretty simple. We have to win. If we want to get in the playoffs, we got to win.
And that's what they would try to do. Kings resting most of their starters. Steph Curry taking advantage, drilling the deep three. Putting the Warriors up early. A few minutes later, Curry with the lob to Klay. Just like they do. The Warriors were up by as much as 17 in the first half. But the lead has been cut to 3. Dante, what you got? 3. DiVincenzo put the Warriors up 6. A few minutes later, Curry grabbing the ball, throwing it out. Gets the 3. And man, he's cooking, getting going. When the pressure is on, champs do what champs do best. They step up in these moments. When their team needs them, when Kerr needs them, DiVincenzo, he's figuring it out. Klay, he knows how it goes. 29 points. The Warriors win 119-97. Steve Kerr may meet his former assistant, Mike Brown, in the first round.
There's trash talk, but in a joking way. It's all in good fun, you know. Mike is beloved in our organization, and there's no tension at all. We're thrilled for him and his success, and you know, they've just had an amazing season. And
Ram wrote back in like mid-March, and we all are starting to believe that something's wrong with the Warriors because of their road record. And like he did all the stat stuff, and pretty much what it came down to was that their road defense is worse because the teams that they're playing against, like, somewhat randomly shoot a lot better against them, because like the shot quality, according to all the metrics and the motion tracking data, the shot quality is not any better. It's just like crazy random, which is, I mean, obviously can happen. That's statistics prove that out. These things can happen. It's crazy random that they just hit a bunch more shots. So like, I bring that up because those numbers are why we are concerned about the Warriors. It's because they're bad on the road and their defense is bad on the road, but their defense is awesome at home. Their offense is great at home. And Wiggins is a 6'8" super athlete that you don't have to make adjustments for defensively, and can like create his own shot in tough times and hit open shots. Like, if they get him back and he can get back up to speed quickly enough, like, I'm not sure the Warriors are as bad as their record shows them to be.
Well, number one, you guys ain't never going to convince me on this Andrew Wiggins thing. The only difference between Andrew Wiggins in Minnesota and Andrew Wiggins in Golden State is that he plays for Golden State. I think the defense part is what matters. He just wound up in this great situation. Where can I be a $35 million fourth option? Right?
He's a super 3-and-D guy. I'm not arguing that Andrew Wiggins is a team.
I don't even think he's a 3 guy. I just think he's a defensive guy that looks like a great basketball player. I mean, dude, the thing I'll always say about Andrew Wiggins, if you've never seen it, I'm sure you can go find it on YouTube. They played this game when he was at Kansas against West Virginia, and the second half that he played in that game might be the best half of college basketball I've ever seen anybody that age play. Like, it's up there with that 25 points Durant put up against Kansas in the first half when he was a freshman at Allen Fieldhouse. And it was that one where it was just like, okay, so that guy's the number 1 pick in the draft. We don't have anything else to talk about. And for 9 years, I've been waiting for that guy to arrive, and he just ain't coming. But the only thing that gets me, like, with the Warriors that I hear, I would love to see what the analysis was they did on the stats that show that this is just this amazing random variance, bad luck that's making this happen, and everybody keeps hitting their shots. Because in the end, I didn't think they were that good last year. They were champions, obviously, but they weren't like a dominant team. And I just don't think they're that good this year. I think the other part of it really just comes down to, if Klay Thompson plays well, then they're a problem. Right. If Klay Thompson's pretty good, if Klay Thompson's all right, then we ain't really got nothing to discuss here.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. And I agree. Like, Steph played me personally with the zero goggles last year. So, like, trust me, I did not think they were good last year. They won a championship, but I didn't think they were good last year. But I think the West is not good this year.
No, it's not.
And who can I trust? And I'm certainly not going to argue that Andrew Wiggins is some superstar player. But I think his value is that he's incredible on defense and not a liability on offense.
Fair.
And maybe that's not worth whatever he's getting paid. But when you got the money, like they got the money.
Oh, yeah, they don't care.
I don't give a damn. Like, yeah, I will overpay because he is a piece that is hard to find and super valuable. And like I rewatched some of the playoff games from last year earlier, and he was like dunking on. You remember when he dunked on Luka?
I do remember that.
He dunked. Who else he dunked on? I forgot. But I just saw him just banging on people and like catching and creating shots. And it wasn't. There's not a steady diet of that. But it's really nice to have a guy like that. And that's like my problem with the Jordan Poole contract. When they signed Jordan Poole and everyone was hype about Jordan Poole, like you misunderstand what Jordan Poole was to that team last year. That man was a liability in the playoffs. He was cool. He was hitting shots. And he, like, if you squint, kind of reminds you of Steph Curry because of your colorism biases, but he actually ain't that good. But when it came down to it, when they had to have somebody on the floor, they had to take him off because he was a problem. And as great as Jordan Poole is and as much fun as he is to watch, he also seems like potentially he could be a little bit annoying. I'm not on Team Draymond or anything, but like it feels like that's part of it.
A little.
But, yeah. So like my point is his value to me, Wiggins' value is much better. When you have a guy
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you don't have to adjust for him. And that's what I think a lot of the playoffs is about, these adjustments. And like, how can we protect this player on this end of the floor so that we can have him on this end of the floor? That dude, just put him out there. He's going to be fine.
Yo, so I got two things.
Presented by BMW after the Warriors beat up on the Kings by 22.
I left my beer back there. I was going to go Nelly style press conference, but I wouldn't be appropriate. So I'll get it after.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, just thought I'd share that with you.
Hi, Coach. The Warriors have a good chance of meeting the Kings again in the first round of the playoff. We all know you and Coach Ron go back a long way, but this is the first time you guys against each other as the head coach. Is there any like tension start between the two of you, like in trash talk?
There's trash talk, but in a joking way. It's all in good fun, you know. Mike is beloved in our organization, and there's no tension at all. We're thrilled for him and his success, and you know, they've just had an amazing season, and yeah, no tension. It's all good.
Steve, what are your thoughts on Yvonne's performance on the glass tonight and the idea that he's one more appearance away from going all 82 back-to-back?
Yeah, Loon, I don't know what else to say about Loon. He's established himself as one of the best rebounders in the league, also as one of the most reliable players in the league, night after night, you know, just being there for us. He's also a stabilizer. You know, we have a team that can kind of lose poise, like you saw tonight. 24 turnovers. We had some really bad possessions, and you know, Loon is a stabilizing force. He had 7 assists tonight, only 1 turnover, 16 rebounds. Loon is, you know, he's just one of our best players.
You mentioned the turnovers. Just what did you make of them? What was causing them so much?
Carelessness was the main cause. You know, I mean, Sacramento played hard and they got into the ball and they forced a couple, but you saw, you know, some of the careless passing that we're not going to be able to get away with, you know, in the playoffs. So we've got to win one more game, obviously, to get in. But assuming we get in, we're going to have to play a lot better than we did tonight.
Carelessness and is a word, or synonyms for that word, has been something that's been brought up all season long. With the playoffs right there, like how do you kind of shape that finally, heading into the postseason? Well,
you think about last year, we've always been, you know, a team that kind of lives on the edge. You know, we're a little wild, a little chaotic, but we've thrived in that chaos for many years. So we just can't cross the edge. I think you might remember against Memphis in the playoffs last year, we had a game where I think the closeout game, we had 22, 23 turnovers. And then we spent the next 2 series against Dallas and Boston really taking care of the ball and executing and playing well. So it's up to us. We have it in us, but the focus, the attention to detail, it all has to be there.
Steve, you mentioned Kavan as a stabilizing force. How much did Klay Klay seemed particularly locked in and sort of in his zone a bit tonight? And as you get closer to the playoffs, given everything he's been through the last couple of years, do you see him sort of relishing this maybe more than ever?
Yeah.
How much do you need that from him?
Well, Klay's had a great season. He really got it going there, especially in the second half. And his defense was good. I thought we picked up the intensity in the third quarter and got a little separation, and Klay played a big role in that at both ends. So obviously he's a four-time champion and a guy who's made big shots in big games his whole career. So we're going to need all of that going forward.
Just piggybacking off that, do you think Klay's playing back at a level he was back in 2019?
Everyone always wants to talk about or ask that question, and I just think it's 2023. So, we could just keep going back and, with every player and say, 4 years ago he was this, he was that. It doesn't matter. It's whatever that's happening right now is what matters. And Klay, just like Steph, just like Draymond, they're different players now than they were 5 years ago, just because of age and wear and tear and wisdom, and you got to throw it all in the mix. And but Klay is a great player still, and that's the main thing. So I just don't find the value in going back to comparing him to other years.
Were you